Good evening, Hearts of Oak. I'm just looking at lots of the comments already. Good evening, and it's great to have you with us on the Thursday. It is a Thursday, the 2nd of July. We are tonight with Tommy. Tommy is going to talk about Black Lives Matter and a lot of what he has been trying to do to get rid or to dampen the racial tensions. And he's been talking to a lot of individuals in the Black Lives Matter movement. But as you can see, it is Alan and myself. Don't disappear. Tommy gave me a call at 7:30 and said he was running slightly late and he'll be with us at 8:15. So I believe he will be with us in probably 15 minutes. So you can either go and...
All being well.
Oh, we've got him. Sorry, he's here. Sorry.
I can't hear you.
I was apologizing, Tommy.
What's up?
He's here.
I just got back.
We were just about to give a rundown of all the things that we're doing, but now you're with us. Can I give the viewers a little one or two things coming up, and then we'll jump in. If you're watching us obviously on YouTube, you could be watching us on VK, but do click that subscribe link and that notification, then you'll get notifications about the different live streams we have coming up. So on Monday, we have Piers Corbyn and Jeff Wyatt talking. They've both been arrested. Jeff Wyatt is up in front of Westminster Magistrates Court on next Friday, and he is answering for his crime of walking in Hyde Park, which is a crime. So he'll be talking about that and the whole lockdown. Then on Thursday, we have Robin Aiken. Robin Aiken has just brought out a new edition of The Noble Liar, and he'll be discussing that with us. So that's literally come out 2-3 days ago. So he'll be joining us on that. And we have one other guest. We have Katie Hopkins is joining us on the 20th, Monday the 20th. So we have a little gap there. We'll be filling those in between Robin and Katie. So yes, that's about it. Tommy, thank you for joining us this evening.
What?
It was good. We had a catch up a few days ago, and it was good to go over quite a few things. But we've asked you specifically to come on. You obviously had done a video and have done stuff in Black Lives Matter. You've been interviewing different people, and I see the Premier League have come around to your point of view that they're discussing now not necessarily wearing the badges because of what may lie behind it. So do you want to just give us a little bit of an update of what you've been doing and what you've been trying to do with visiting people, interviews, all of that?
So in the United States, they have many commentators who are separating the black community per se from Black Lives Matter. So anyone who does 10 minutes of research, which we find out Black Lives Matter is a Marxist organisation, it's a violent organisation, it's bordering on terrorist organisation. I know that at one demonstration, five police officers were executed. At one. Yeah? We've had 11 people executed in a 2 period. So anyone who does their research into this organisation sees who the founders are, they're trained Marxists, sees where money's coming from, Soros, sees the purpose of the organisation to divide. So when you see that, and then you see people support it, it's pretty. Like I went on my rant, and I got a lot of flack for it. Yeah, from people within the community. Okay, now it's not my fault that they haven't researched what Black Lives Matter is. Okay, they've sold lie to believe it's simply here for black people to fight against oppression. Lie. Yeah. In fact, the entire organisation was built on lie after lie after lie. We could go all through that. All this organisation is propagating. It's to cause mayhem, disorder, anarchy, violence because of election. And so I went on my rant, and fortunately, due to the branding and the me being ploughed into that organisation in the UK, swept through our black community with massive support.
Tommy, can I put the break on? We're getting a big echo from you. It's lovely to hear you twice every second. I don't know whether you could possibly put on a pair of headphones or something, or...
Is this better?
Let's try.
Is that better?
Seems to be, yeah. Seems to be.
That's
Sorry for cutting you in mid-flu.
No, so this is so that's been the situation, and I've watched us, and it's took a month, but finally, starting with Matt Letizia, was it?
Yeah.
Or
Matt Letizia, yeah.
and who was the other footballer who used to play Wolves? So thankfully, and it would have been it started with a black footballer who decided to speak out. Carl Hay, it was a Premier League.
Tommy, can we just go back to your own personal journey? You said that you said you had your rant, and we've all seen your rant on. You did that. What then happened after that? Because you were calling at one stage. You're calling people to come down and protect the statues down in Westminster and Whitehall and things like that. And you changed your mind about it. I mean, your journey's been an interesting journy, isn't it?
I watched us to see how my rant was received, and I then saw that every black man, what I actually done was unify the black youth to then en masse, or were planning to come out en masse for what was being billed as a black again issue. Now, my presence, that demonstration, would have definitely, with scenes anyway. I'll tell the truth. I sat and watched that demonstration. I watched it at home, watched it in the lounge, and I watched it with my hands, just thinking, please don't anyone get killed, because as I could see the level of anger, the way it'd been whipped up. I think if I didn't go on that was the pushing point for the resistance against Black Lives Matter, because at that time the whole country was just getting on their knees. Yeah? No one was really coming up against it. Everyone worried to talk about it. Fair play to the football lads a lot, and fair play to every person, ex-forces or patriot that went down and to protect those monuments. Because if that didn't happen, I truthfully think these monuments would have continued to come down. We sent a message to the government and the authorities is you're going to have a resist here. You're not just going to start pulling down his statues across the country. People are not going to sit and watch their war memorials desecrated week out whilst it's allow it. There's going to be a strong resistance. That showed that, but at the same time, it treated a very close line to some serious problems, I think. And all it took was one person to get killed on that day. And even, for example, I watched the Reading terrorist attack, and I saw that it was a field where there were Black Lives Matter supporters. And to be honest, myself, because I just thought, oh no, man. And I didn't know what side this has come from. And I know the tension in the country, the country. I sat there panicking again. Is this going to be someone who's claiming to be from us, who's going to attack Black Lives Matter? Because all people in the country are seeing this Black Lives Matter. And when you research it, look, I agree with the sentiment Black Matter. Of course I do. Everyone's life matters. Yeah? I agree that Muslim life matters. Okay, I agree that every life matters. But when you look at this organisation and we see the intent on it and what it's to do, it's concerning. The level of influence it gained in a matter of weeks. So much that it has our oppositions down on their knees, our police forces down on their knees, it has Premier League down on their knees. So coming out the back of that, I saw a couple of people online, representatives of the black community or BLM, and they reached out and said, I'd like to meet with Tommy Robinson. I then spent time contacting these people and wanted to really. So I've had multiple meetings this week. It's been an interesting week, to say the least. Try something. Try something. Working? Is it working all right?
We've got Tommy, could we your sound is I'm getting complaints about your sound. could we see, do you have headphones to put on, or we're still getting a lot of echo? Or maybe I can kick you off and you can come back on again, or do you want to see if you can get headphones?
Hold on. Thanks, sir. You've got some headphones.
There we go. We've got Tommy with an echo, so you get him twice over.
It's all free. It's all free. Yeah.
The 1st of August, obviously, keep it in your diary. It'll be Sports to Vote First big event since lockdown. We launched obviously on the 20th of February, but Saturday, 1st of August will be our big event, and that's going to be in central London. We put a lot of information out about it. So do put that in your diary. Sorry, the event will be 12 o'clock or so in central London. We'll put more information about it very soon. So yeah, put that in your diary.
It's a big one. It's protesting about the Rochdale groomers who are still walking the streets of Rochdale. And we've taken legal action against the government. We, Hearts of Oak, have taken legal action against the government, along with a group called Women Against Groomers, and we aim to get these men deported. So not only are we taking legal action against the government, but also we're going to have this rally on the 1st of August. And we want to deport the Rochdale Three, and it's going to be black and white united around that issue. So we're working together. Anyway, back to Tommy. Are we any better with this, Tommy?
I ain't got no headphones, so the kid. I bought them all them AirPods or whatever they're called. I said, "Where's all your AirPods? You're at Nana's. They're here." You know what I mean? And I don't have any headphones. So is it any better? Is it not working still? Is it still echoing?
It is still quite echoey. Have you got a laptop to come on with? Are you on your phone at the moment?
No, I'm on a computer. So I got my phone.
Actually, come on your phone. Yeah. I'm gonna kick you out and then click on the link. Come back on the phone.
I'll click on the link you sent me earlier.
I'm gonna kick you out, or we'll get two of you.
Oh, mate. Stream hard.
Oh, we're getting some good comments. Somebody says, "I'm going to call it. Tommy's been bugged." So, you're being bugged, Tommy. That's what it's about.
Now, Term's going to pop up now. Look.
I know. I'm going to remove you, and then you'll come on that.
Go on then.
Or I'll wait till you come up on that first. So join.
I'm on it, you know. Enter broadcast. Please enter your name. Is that what's going to come up at the bottom?
Yeah. So you're going to come up side by side, and I'll remove your computer one.
What's the joke? Tell us what the joke is.
That will get you banned.
Oh.
I find that really funny.
You see, that's better.
That's much clearer. That's much clearer.
Is that clearer?
Yeah, Allah is very happy with you now because he's making the sound work.
Yeah, we're all right.
Is that coming to me now? Is that because this is still on there?
No, I've kind of turned that off. It's fine. Let's see if this works.
I think that's right. Tommy, we really want to go into this what Black Lives Matter movement is about and all the research you've been doing, and you've been meeting a lot of people. Can we go back? Because we're assuming that a lot of people who may not be great Tommy fans are watching this. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can't hear anything.
Oh.
I can't hear anything.
This is like having Piers Corbyn on. That was a special one. I'm gonna kick him off. Nope, I'll add him on. Oh. We're going to see if Tommy can get fixed. Hopefully his kids will be able to sort out his IT. He needs to employ one of them as his IT guru. Well, there he is. He's frozen now. Allah wasn't so happy after all. Let's. Yeah. Tommy needs 5G, like Piers needed 5G. Alan, do you want to talk about the what we can talk about the first and talk about the legal action?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we've already talked about the first. This is big one. We're wanting hundreds of people there. We're going to be down in the centre of London, and we're going to march on the Home Office, and we're going to demand that the government, the Home Secretary, deport what's known as the Rochdale Three. These are 3 members of the notorious Rochdale grooming gang, who were convicted in 2012. And when they were convicted, Theresa May, who was then Home Secretary, she said that they would be deported. And they've completed their sentence, short sentences they were. They completed their sentences. The government have stripped them of their British passports, so they're no longer British citizens, and that was 2 years ago, and nothing has happened since. No deportation orders have been issued, nothing has happened. While a lot of senior politicians have demanded these men should be deported, the Mayor of Manchester, Andy Burnham, has done so, local MPs in Rochdale have demanded, nothing has happened. So Hearts of Oak, together with Women Against Groomers, have jointly issued proceedings against the Home Secretary to get these men deported. And we're taking the whole thing through the courts. We've issued our pre-action letter. That has been rejected by the government. So we're now getting witness statements, which we'll be submitting to the court, hopefully the next couple of weeks, getting witness statements from people up all right the way across Rochdale as to why these men should be chucked out the country. And this demo on the 1st of August is about that, but we want to be more than that. We want to show that we're united as British people. We're united no matter what the colour of our skin. So whereas the Black Lives Matter has turned into a very divisive campaign, we want to be a uniting campaign. So that's really what that is. Now Tommy's back, so can we hear you? Can you hear us?
My battery died on my phone. My battery died on my phone. Story of my life. But is that better? I've disconnected this microphone on the computer, so now I'm talking through the computer.
That sounds much better.
All right. Tommy, can I go? We really want to push on down. We drill down on this whole Black Lives Matter thing. I know you're having lots of conversation with Black Lives Matter people and so on this week and next week, and organising to get people together and so on. But can we just go back for people who don't really know about it? You've been called a racist all the way through, and people accuse you of being a racist. So for those that believe you are a racist, that what the Black Lives Matter people were saying about you when you went on your rant would prove their point. But it's true, actually, you fought racism all the way through. Back in the EDL days when you got started, you started with your black mates, didn't you? And you fought racism all the way through. So can we go back on that? That's the background to where we are today, isn't it?
I spoke to some lads today, some other lads I'm meant to be meeting next week, and said, look, I can show you 10 years worth of videos, comments, my actions that totally counter the fact that I'm a racist, yeah, in this or against black people. From day dot, we had our slogan when we first started was Black and White Unite. The first ever rally we had for the EDL said we stand with our brothers who are victims of jihad in Nigeria, because there'd been a massive attack in Nigeria. We made it very clear, I made it very clear in my speeches, in my actions, as an organisation, that we welcomed everyone. I think the dangerous point we're getting to now, I've gone on a rant, and basically what I've done is I've given the people who have disliked me anyway, I've given them the ammunition they've needed to then basically say, see, look, like I had mates saying, mate, I've had people say to me, see, now he's finished with Islam, now he's on you lot, now he's on your community. But that's not the case. That's come across like that because people are taking it that if you criticise Black Lives Matter, you are criticising black people. Whereas Black Lives Matter and the people orchestrating and running Black Lives Matter are not even black people. And do you know what? I've actually proved that this week. I held a meeting this week at my home. I had activists come. One was very vocal activist from a town for BLM. There was a few of them that come. And this one girl, she come, and we also had Luke, who made a reaction video to my video, who come down from Scotland. Very intelligent, understands the ideology behind this. I've done an hour-long interview with him separate to speak to him about his beliefs, where he comes from. I think it's important that we have black voices in the UK who are countering this argument, to separate, to show that actually members of the black community aren't Marxists, don't want this. So that's what I was doing. And when this girl started ranting, and the question was asked about black people being killed disproportionately by police, I believe Luke said, no, actually, that's not true. You know, that's not what the data shows us. She then went on to call him racial slur after racial slur after racial slur, and then threatened to smash his head in.
Let's be clear. You haven't said it. Luke was black, isn't he? Luke is black. She's black. They're both black. Yeah.
Luke's black.
Yeah.
And then she went on to say she will violently beat the hell out of him. And look, the thing is, when I've done my interview with Luke before, I said, what sort of criticism do you think you'll get? What sort of names do you think you'll get called for coming out and telling the truth about this issue? And every name he predicted he would be called. This girl an hour later called him within one little 10-second period. Then she threatened to smash his head in. And Luke's point was gold. It just said, this is the problem. It's emotion. Yeah, quick violence. And Luke then asked, because there was about 5 black people that come, and all of them were pretty much ganging up against Luke. And Luke went round each one of them. Have you got the data? Do you know the data? No. Do you know the data? Do you know the data? Do you know the data? So you're all here basing your argument on what? Because you're not basing it on the facts or the research into deaths in police custody, into arrest rates, into murder rates, into anything. And what we've got now is an entire population in this country being whipped up on lies, on false narratives. Now, that's not to say there's not some serious issues within certain communities with policing, with things that have gone on, but they're in our community. We've got those serious issues. Our daughters are the daughters that have been gang raped across this country. Well, I can name you multiple racist murders against white people that no one in this country knows their names. So we feel the same. That's the point I was trying to make to them, is you're seeing this from you're going into historical abuses, into slavery, into how long you've been oppressed through history. But we can all pick that. My mum's from Ireland. I could go into Irish history. Yeah, I could go into. We can all do it. We can all pick faults. But that's the point. And the fact. But at that same time, so whilst the girl was let herself down completely, yeah, one of the men there was absolutely gold. He works to prevent violence within the black community, black on black crime. That's what he dedicates his life to. I think he's probably lived a life after speaking to him, in and out of jail. And I found that at each meeting I've gone to. So there's such a diverse group of opinions. And basically my purpose in this was to, when I sat down with these in the first meeting, I said, let me ask you if you agree with these things. And I started and read out 5 points. One of them being, do you want to break up the nucleus of the family? Do you want to break up the family? Do you think it's good to have a family? Or do you want to break up? No, of course I don't. Do you want to tackle the stranglehold of heteronormativity? So men being with women? No. Do you want to smash capitalism? No. So, okay, these are all the main points of Black Lives Matter as an organisation. So what exactly is it about the organisation that you're offended about? Because I had a rant against that organisation. What is it about that organisation that you actually do support? What points is it? And the insanity in it all is, even with this young girl who's a business owner, I then asked her, Black Pound Day, explain to me, because this is so divisive. I've gone on the comment section and I've done negative and positive comments under the BBC News article. 93% are against it. 93% are making negative comments about Black Pound Day, about it being racist, about it being divisive. 93%. So if that's meant to help the black community in any way or help racial tensions, it's not. And then when I asked the purpose of it, the girl said, well, it's to give black entrepreneurs help and thrive their businesses. Oh, it's capitalism that you want to smash, that you want to get rid of. So you're sitting here as a business owner, yet your organisation wished to tear down capitalism. And this is the real telling part. After that meeting, I received a phone call, and a phone call from quite a posh, educated-sounding lady. I speak to her for 17 minutes. I've recorded the phone call. It will all be in my video that I put together. I record the phone call, and she's asking me. She's the PA of the girl who went on a bit of a racist rant and got very angry and wanted to commit violence, yeah? Or offer violence. Now, she said, can we not show that footage? I said, who are you? She said, I'm her PA. I said, you're Sasha's PA? Yeah. What are you her PA in? Black Lives Matter or a personal life? Everything. Okay. So you're a PA in everything. And then
a PA for everything.
I know. And I spoke to this girl. For 17 minutes, and all she went on about was Marxism. Yeah. And then it got to the point I said, if you get rid of capitalism, what are you replacing it with? Answer the question. You want to smash cap. She was trying to get to the point that capitalism is racist. Yeah, it's that racist. It's that racism that's dividing everyone, etc., etc. This was her point in her argument. And then at the end of the conversation, I said, "Can I just ask you one more question? Are you black?" No. And I was like, but this is the problem. You have a political ideology that you cannot push on your own. You cannot win at the ballot box. You cannot. You tried with Jeremy Corbyn. You tried with Hillary Clinton. You can't win. So what you've done as Marxists is you've hijacked and taken over an issue about black people's rights because you know you can wind them up. You know they'll go out and commit violence. You know you can get them on the streets in their masses. And all of it, it's nothing to do with black lives. That's what, because she didn't mention it in a similar.
Can we just get this clear, Tommy? So this woman that you were speaking to, she's white.
I'd say she's a handler. I'd say she's a handler.
She's a?
I'd say she's a handler. I got off the phone and said that's her.
She's a white middle class Marxist handler of the black girl that you was
black, working class girl who's angry about things and being whipped up and then being directed and what's it for? This is what got me so angry. Where in my angry rant, I said, it's a Marxist. You're trying to bring in Marxism. You're trying to smash our society. You're trying to get rid of the police. You want total anarchy, so you can come in with a communist solution. That's all you're trying to do. Yeah. But then, so that's one meeting, and I went to a meeting yesterday that I was pretty lucky to walk out of. I think because I don't go places with security. People see that, yeah, because I think it sends the wrong message. In the sense that I went to Newham. I got invited to Newham. I spoke to this lad. He said, "Yeah, come down to Newham, meet us at this gym." So I went and I've done a little piece to camera saying, "I wonder what we're walking into here." Yeah? There's mosques everywhere. There's this metal shutters. I said, we might not walk out of here. Yeah. I said, but we're going to walk in with our hands up, say, look, I haven't brought a mob of men. I've come to talk. And I went in, and this bloke was one of the biggest arseholes I've ever met. He literally, it's like a comedy skit. He grabbed my hand as hard as he could grab my hand. He stood with his arms like this the whole time, with his big screw face on. And I was like, "What, mate? What are you doing?" "Well, mate," he said, "now's for some extreme de-radicalisation." Yeah. Little did I know, which I'll get onto, he puts a hammer in the middle of the room. He puts out 3 seats, so we all sit down. I'm sitting in the middle, and these two. There's a black lad here. There's a Muslim here. This geezer's a Muslim. There's another couple of their friends there. And I'm sat there. I said, "Yeah." Well, and then he goes, "Now I'm going to tell you how serious this is." Yeah. And he just went on about how at risk my life is and how I'll get killed and how he's now going to give me an ultimatum and how I need to change. And this hammer can be smashed against any one of our heads at any time. Total boring idiot. Anyway, the other fella, one of the fellas, Levi, was totally great. Yeah, he was trying to be, but this other fella was totally. He started on my cameraman straight away. So got up in his face. So I knew straight away, this is going to be eventful. Like this man, but you know, I've looked up and found out this bloke works for the government's prevent scheme. This guy works. He's pictured with all the Labour politicians. He's part of the government prevent scheme. This clown, I've looked because I didn't know who he was because I got hijacked. He actually said, "We've hijacked this meeting." I said, "I'm not here to talk about Islam previously. I'm here to talk with the black community. My dad's black, or his dad's a Pakistani and his mum's black. Right? But your problem's to do with what I say about Islam and Muslims. Yeah? That's your problem. Right? I'm here to talk to the black community about Black Lives Matter and about the tensions between black and white communities." But that's how, and this discussion went, and then some lads tried getting into the place. So the camera footage finishes. I'm sat there and I look because I see feet all outside, and I think, "Oh man, I've fucked up here big time. I've walked in and put myself on a plate, and then boom, 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 but they're bashing the doors." And I'm like, I said to lads, like, "Fucking hell, lads." Like, I think it's pretty cowardly, I do. I still think his actions, I would never invite anyone to come somewhere, to be mob-banded or standing there, to then try and intimidate them. I said, if you're trying to, he said, you walk outside that door, you'll die now. I said, I'm still going to walk outside that door. This de-radicalisation program isn't working, because I'm still going to say what I'm saying. If you're here to tell me, give me this big telling off with a hammer in the middle, and then you think I'm going to walk out of here and not talk about what I talk about, I don't know what planet you're on, mate. But he really thought he was, to be honest, he really pissed me off. And in a different scenario, because I just sat there and thought, I knew the whole time I was trying to play it diplomatically, because I could see and sense we were minutes. He made it very clear as well. This is the streets. He thought he was such a gangster, and he was just a clown on steroids. He said, this is the streets. There's no rules on the streets. There's no police here. There's no prison screws here. No one will be stopping this shit. I was just like, oh, mate, it's Tuesday afternoon. Or whatever. I'm starving. And I'm sat here listening to you ranting at me without a single argument. Again, because what I said is, tell me what I've said, mate, that's problematic. No, he can't, can he? He just wants to scream. And this is the problem. And then I bought loads of paperwork. And he said, what's that? What's that? I said, it's called research. Yeah? This is what gives me my opinion. Yeah? This is where I base my opinion on. It's facts. Put that down. Put that down. I said, put down the stuff that is why we're here. We're here because to counter the lies that are being perpetrated by the media, that black people are being hunted down and murdered in the streets by police. And they're not. So if they are as much as any other community are, and in fact less when you go through the statistics, but that's what I done yesterday. I've got more meetings set up. I hope they're more successful than that. I have a good one that we're working on for next week with an audience. So we're going to bill it a bit like Question Time show, where I'm going to be sitting with a black nationalist to debate, discuss. They want to air issues with me. I'm happy to answer any questions to anyone, anywhere. Because I think that, more importantly, I think it's important that the black community distance themselves from this Marxist mess. I think it's very, very, because friends are falling out across this country. Communities are being broken across this country. I mean, I'm speaking to one mate who runs a gym up in Derby. He's like, mate, I've trained with these lads for 15 years. We fell out because they're arguing for Black Lives Matter, even amongst my own friends. I've got the black lads supporting Black Lives Matter without knowing anything about it, yeah? Just because it's got black wrote in the title of the name. And the equivalent, it's like the equivalent. I said, mate, the racism, the extremism, and the violence coming out of that organisation, and everyone's walking around on the back of their football shirts, is disgusting. It's disgusting that our Premier League have not done any research. It's just disgusting that they have politicised the sport that this country loves. It's disgusting that they've done it. And it's absolute, I feel ashamed that no British footballer stood up against it, and that all of them got down on their knees like little bitches to Marxist thuggery and intimidation. Because this organisation is intimidating businesses across America. It's that their leaders are on TV saying we are going to burn the country down. Yeah, their threats of murder and violence. They've murdered 11 police officers in a 2-year period. Yeah, that's not to include the black people they've all been killing recently. But I think what you'll find by the end of my meetings is that many of the black people I'm meeting are actually opposed to Black Lives Matter as well. That's what I'm finding as well. It's a total mix. But that's what.
But Tommy, it's a powerful statement. Black Lives Matter, isn't it? I mean, and it's one that everybody can get behind. The problem is that to separate the Marxist organisation behind it from the label they've labelled them. So it's been very clever, haven't they? Get that label.
Yeah, they've been very clever, but not that. But really, the organisation been going for 8 years. So I saw Carl Henry, the footballer, said we can go under the banner of Black Lives Matter and separate ourselves from the organisation. He said if an organisation was called Thank You NHS, it doesn't mean, and they were bad, it doesn't mean we wouldn't go under the banner Thank You NHS. And I think that's bullshit. If there was an organisation, say like the KKK, well, you could form a KKK here, could you? Talking about white people, but then try and separate it from the KKK in the United States. No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't. You'd have to be aligned to the violence, to the murders that organisation has done, to the extremism, to the segregation, to the separation, to all the problems that organisation has done in the United States. The problem is that people in the UK have not followed that organisation for 8 years. And whether they and I was going to make a video after I went on my rant. I was going to detail. I've done an hour-long video. I was going to do a video saying in 12 months' time you'll all be able to sit there and say Tommy Robinson told you so, because that organisation is not for you. That organisation is going to cause this country and our communities lots of problems. And it already has in 4 weeks. And the hypocrisy that's been exposed with the lad who put the White Lives Matter plane above. There's nothing wrong with the sentiment Black Lives Matter. Well, that must mean there's nothing wrong with the sentiment White Lives Matter. So it's certainly not a criminal offence, and you shouldn't lose your job for putting it up there. And you know why a white lad in this country at this minute might feel the need to put that there? Because when I interviewed this Jake, he said, well, it all started for me with the young 7-year-old girl who got beheaded on Mother's Day, and they didn't even really get talked about. And she's a young white girl. And then I see the South African farmers, and this is what he said. Then I see victims in Burnley who were kidnapped and taken as white girls because they're white. Their lives didn't matter. Then I see a terrorist attack in Reading. Their lives didn't matter. So I asked the question, do white lives matter? And I think we've seen the answer to that by even the Burnley footballers. I think their answer showed that, no, people generally don't think. And if you're a working class kid in a poor area in the UK, I know how you feel. Yeah, I know how people feel. And we're made to feel that we don't matter. And so black people have their historical problems where they feel they're oppressed. Well, that's the same for working class white children now in this country. They feel left behind. The biggest failures in education are white working class kids. The biggest failures. More black people go to university percentage-wise than working class kids. So through the education, it's us, working class children. It's our daughters that are being taken and raped and tortured. It's us that are continually called racist and deemed as thugs. It's us that are called benefit Britain. It's us that are put into that bracket where we're totally... So I understand the problems, which is what I'm meeting the black community to find out what their problems are. But I also want them to understand why the majority of the country are not happy with Black Lives Matter, because the majority of the country aren't. And you can read that, and I'll explain that. I went through the numbers on the Burnley Football Club put out their statement about banning the boy who flew the plane. It was 81% disapproval rating. When I went through I added up all the comments, went through the people who were for and against. 81% of the public were against. TalkSport on their own platform, I went through the comments on there, 80% against them. So there is nowhere is there public support for any of the things that are currently coming out. Okay, so everyone sees it as divisive. The Premier League have messed up bigger than anything they could have possibly done. Anything they have, and I don't know if people will forgive them. I haven't watched one Premier League football match since this. So you want me to watch you? And the thing is, if they just change the wording, okay, if they just change the wording, but the fact that it's worded the same organisation as that Marxist outfit that are coming out of the United States that is here to cause race baiting riots. We know. So when I see Black Lives Matter, that's what I think. I don't think about black people trying to fight against oppression, or black people wanting equality at jobs, or black people having problems with policing, or I don't think about any of them, which is what I'm meeting people to tell me. I just think, that Marxist mess that want to murder and kick off and cause riots, because that's what that organisation is about, and that's what's on their website.
Tommy, how's your white privilege? We've all got white privilege. How's your white privilege? How's the white privilege of your community? How is it? All about it.
How's Jake, the boy who flew the plane? Yeah? So he puts White Lives Matter. A black Oxford professor puts out a statement saying white lives don't matter. Jake gets sacked. She gets promoted. How's Jake's white privilege? That's it. Do you feel privileged, mate? Do you feel privileged? Losing your job, coming under attack, whole country, every media. The thing that was annoying, he had journalists outside his house for 5 days. I was talking to him. And do you know what? My interview of him is going out. There was a few hiccups. He'll be going out in the morning now. But I met him. I was 25 when I started the English Defence League. Yeah, I know what I worried about. I know what I thought. I know what happened to my mum. I know what happened to my wife. I know what happened to my family. So I know what in this week what's happened, and with the media, with all these things, with the worries he's having. So, and I saw you can put a brave face on these things. Men do it. Mate, he's in a bad place. And he's in a bad place with no support. He's in a bad... Because he's lost his career, his job, his livelihood. He's never not worked. He's never been in trouble with the police. He's a kid from a working class estate in Burnley, yeah, who's tried to do his life right. A normal working class kid, yeah. And he's left on his own and deserted and totally messed for... And same as Mrs. lost her job. I kept asking him, what are you going to do? I don't know. And then I know the worry. I spoke to his mum because I know the worry that his mum will be going through because she's going to be worrying about him. How's his mental health going to be affected? We always hear about mental health. Well, you've all jumped on this kid. Yeah. You've all jumped. What's it get? So is the punishment right? You think that him losing his job, not being able to get work, being targeted, having death threats, his missus losing her job, his mum having a mental breakdown, you think all of these things are just cause for putting a plane up in the air to protest against people being murdered by terrorists, etc.? It's not.
I mean, how is it that so many, how is it the directors or the managing director of that company decide they're going to sack him? Why is it that the aerodrome which he flew the aircraft from, they've disowned him? The aircraft company disowned him. His partner's lost her job. What's going on here? I saw, not only is it Burnley directors who've decided that the Burnley captain, whatever his name is, he all bowed the knee. The whole lot of them, like Yorkshire Tea. I saw Yorkshire Tea. They had a row with one of their customers. It was quite public. There were customers complaining because they were doing Black Lives Matter, and they said to this customer, "Don't drink our tea, Yorkshire Tea." You know, I mean, what? If you can't, they're saying if you don't buy into Black Lives Matter, don't drink our tea. Well, what's all this? What's it got to? How's it got to here? It's the thing's utter madness. What's going on?
Well, what's happened with Jake and what's happened with his employer is they've just been bombarded, contacted, harassed with continued threats, and they've given up because I guarantee you, when I went up to Burnley, I spoke to someone whose relative plays for Burnley. The players don't support Black Lives Matter. The players don't. Yeah, the players didn't want to do it. The player when that captain was sitting there, took it upon himself to say how disgusting it is. Well, the rest of the team didn't think that, but he's gone and give what he's been told to do. You saw Matt Letizia, the footballer, said he spoke to his employees about wearing the Black Lives Matter badge because of the politics behind it. And then someone said to him, "How did that conversation go?" And he just said, "How do you think?" We're basically told, "Shut up, shut up." We're pushing this. We're pushing this to the whole country. We're pushing this divisive politics to the entire country. We now want to divide the country in black and white, and it's worked. And that's where I put my hands up because I played my own part in that by reacting to it, organising a rally, and not thinking of the consequence of it. But I think people have just surrendered and bowed down and shit themselves, if I'm honest, because of their businesses. They have livelihoods. They want to protect their company and their assets and what they're doing, so they've got rid of him. But Cambridge University, Cambridge University.
The story is, isn't it? I mean, with Nigel Farage when he dumped out of LBC, it was the advertisers that got onto LBC, and LBC just decided they couldn't afford to lose their advertisers, so they dumped Nigel, and that's where they work, isn't it?
Nigel never spoke up about anyone else getting dumped. I mean, it's come to eat him now, isn't it? It's come to eat him. I was sorry. He just, everyone else was far right thugs. So, well, now, Nigel, you're a far right thug, mate, and you've been dumped because your politics are divisive and hateful, Nigel. No matter how much you thought you'd throw everyone else under the bus and it would keep you safe with a big multi-million-pound contract, it hasn't, has it?
But it's crazy that we're in a situation where we have a Conservative government who have not been Conservative on anything and have been frightened to actually engage on this. And actually, it's taken Keir Starmer, leader of the Labour Party, to actually come out and say he doesn't agree the police should be defunded. He doesn't agree with that parts of Black Lives Matter. And suddenly then everyone is talking about it. And it's just a crazy topsy-turvy world. And he came out with that. And suddenly the BBC did a 10-minute slot on one of their news programmes. And it's taken a Labour politician to actually say common sense for the public and the media to actually engage with that and talk about that.
And everything they're all saying now is everything we knew. Think, oh, right, you're all coming out now. But 4 weeks ago, I was a total scumbag for talking about it and saying how divisive it is and saying that it's Marxists. And so,
I mean, I think you should get a banner tooled and say, I told you they're a bunch of commies.
People knew it. That's why it's so frustrating. When we know it's a communist revolution, they're trying to launch a communist revolution. That's what they're doing. And what's it? I'm looking at, what is it, the Chaz zone that they've set up in the United States? What's the first thing they did? They built a bloody wall. They protected it, built a wall, built boundaries in their new little compound, and then set up armed security. And then exactly what they want to rip down is what they created. But
Do you think, obviously, you did that video a week ago and explaining what lay behind it. And it's all there on their website, and yet the media, politicians haven't been bothered to actually click and read an about section on the website, and it's there in black and white. Do you think that?
I think most of them do, but because of the branding of it, they're all cowards.
Yeah.
It's got black in the title. They didn't know what. Oh, we better just shut up and get down on our knees for this one. I hope it blows over.
But do you think, I mean, a week ago, the concern was we were heading towards full race rats on the streets. Now, actually, some people at the top of society have begun to realize actually something lies behind this that isn't good, and they voiced that. Do you think that may take away some of the pressure that's built up in this and stop us having those rats on the street?
I think the more people, when I started this, none of these people had spoke out when I started reaching out to these groups. And my intention was, and I generally believe it, I believed it, we're going to head for massive chaos this summer. As we build up to the 2020 election in the United States, it's going to be whipped up more and more and more. And as it's whipped up more and more and more, the media push it more and more over here. It's going to get the anger levels of young, black, disenfranchised youth up and up and up. And then we've already seen it. We've seen the attacks. We've seen them setting up the police, battering the police. We've seen violence erupting. We've seen it. And I just thought that's going to get worse and worse. And to be honest, I've sort of stuck my name right in the middle of it because I don't really usually talk about race. I got involved in this because I knew what was behind Black Lives Matter. And as I said, I always say I like to say what many other people are too afraid to. And Black Lives Matter needed confronting as an organisation. And everyone's played a little chipping part in it. And I think that Kyle Henry, the footballer, it was needed so bad. And then I've seen other footballers now coming out. And I believe there's a group of captains from Premier League clubs who have been talking together about making a public statement. But they're all nervous. Everyone's so nervous to speak up against that. In fact, I said, what's crazy is this has been harder to talk about Islam. It's been harder to talk about Islam. Because and the problem is, can we separate we can talk about Islam without hating Muslims. We can talk against Black Lives Matter without hating black people. Right? It's an organisation, and it's a bad organisation. So yeah, but now a lot of the black people I'm talking to, even today, they're all finding out now. Because 4 weeks ago they didn't know. They just knew BLM, standing up for black people. Not many of them researched it. But it shouldn't have took us to do that. It shouldn't take us to do that.
What do you think about people like Anthony Joshua? I mean, this whole thing about the black pound and getting people to buy black people to buy black goods and so on. What do you think about that? It was less than helpful, is it not?
It is a racist arsehole. All the accusations of me being a racist. There's no footage of me being a racist. There is of him. Right? Him standing up there. What a kick in the teeth to every boxing fan, to every white boxing fan that supported him for his career, that's give money for his career, that's paid to watch his fights, that's made him the man he is, right? Because to be honest, it's only because of his PR status, because he's shit anyway for heavyweight boxing. Tyson Fury will knock him out, but it's only because of the PR behind him. Because in genuine, I've already spoke to people who know him in his hometown who said he's a horrible bastard. So this whole PR campaign, big smiling Anthony Joshua, Mr. Nice Guy, is rubbish anyway. And anyone close to him knows that. Because this was the second thing. He'd already sent a private DM message to another boxer at the start of his career talking about the black superior race. It was already clear that he believed blacks are superior to whites. This latest thing, don't shop in their shops. And do you know what the clown said? He said, I read someone else's speech. So Anthony Joshua, you're that bothered about black people's rights that you can't even speak from your heart on the issue? You clown. Do you know why that is? Because nothing he said over the last 5 years is from the heart, because it's all scripted bollocks to build up a career for him. That's what it's all been.
The next Fury Joshua fight should be interesting, shouldn't it?
I don't know if you've realised I don't like Anthony Joshua. Because I know he's a racist, because I know he's a wrong one, and because come on, Fury! The whole country's waiting for it. And that's not a black and white issue either. That's a hero arsehole issue. I'll get those comments. I always do. Whenever I say something, Joshua will knock you out. Yeah, well.
So, Tommy, where's it go from here? What's next on your next week? You've got a meeting next week, yeah.
I have more meetings. The one that I'm doing on a panel with an audience will go out as a singular piece. A debate. I think it's going to be a very well watched debate. I think it will do very well because it's we're talking about the issues that a lot of the people in this country currently want talked about. It shouldn't really take us to do it. I think there should be question time doing it and getting the right people involved in it. But we've organised it already. So that will go out. The other pieces I'm going to put together as a mini doc, little pieces from each meeting we're having. Talk about what my goals were at the start of it. See what I find. And what I'm finding is I met one great bloke. Really warm to him, man. And he genuinely. And then I'm hearing from a lot of black people about stories from them, personal stories as well, involving the police and why they feel the way they do. And but there's again, the statistics and the numbers and the data, which is incredibly important, says that you're not more likely to die in police custody. Actually, less likely if you're black in the UK, and the same in the United States. And if we're such a racist country, I said to her, is this country racist? Is this country racist? Yeah. If this country is racist, white people make up over 90% of the population. Between 2015 and 2018, white people killed 27 black people. In that same period, black people killed 97 white people. 3 times as many. Yeah? 3 times as many. If we're a big racist country, how come the 90%? If it's true, which it isn't true. So it's pretty, when you cannot name a least racist country than the United Kingdom, the country in the world. Tell me where's a better country that's less racist. Tell me what. So the thing that people get frustrated about is to continually be told every day on the news that we're oppressive, racist, and all these people who we've welcomed into our country, and then I feel like a lot of people feel it's been thrown back in their faces. But then that's what I want to do this sort of thing with, to get to the nitty-gritty points, because with Black Lives Matter, it's the same as the English Defence League. You line 10 English Defence League supporters up and ask them why they come to a demo, everyone will have a different reason that brought them there. Cousin was groomed, Muslim, I was attacked in a racist attack, this happened, that happened. So everyone's got a different reason. I'm finding that it's exactly the same with Black Lives Matter. So whilst we're getting angry with the organisation, there is a lot of resentment and anger within the black community about certain things. And I'm trying to understand it, because I generally don't believe in Luton there was anything holding back anyone of any race. And I say that because my five of my best mates, I've gone through all their jobs as I've been working. I've been thinking, hold on. Because when I watch Sky News bloke, the black fella on TV, say, no, if you see a black person in your company, he's probably a janitor. Thinking, what? Are you taking a piss? Well, that's what I think, because I've grown up in Luton where my mates were very successful. They're black. Yeah? They've all excelled. They haven't been held back through race. And I haven't ever witnessed race issues growing up in that town. Maybe other towns and areas, maybe parts of London, maybe there's different issues, different police forces. That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm doing. And generally, I just generally do not want to see the racial segregation that we're heading towards due to Marxism.
In your talks, Tommy, do you see what genuine issues do you find the black community coming up? I mean, you say generally, and I agree with you. I mean, I go around to people, I say, tell me one less racist country than ours anywhere. You won't find one in the Middle East. You won't find one in the Far East. You won't find one in Africa. There's nowhere. But if you want to talk
about slavery, go to Libya. There's markets. They're not selling fish. They're selling men, black men. Yeah? No, that's happening now. And all these hypocritical footballers, these footballers are all getting down on their knees against oppression. All right, you're going to go play in the World Cup in Qatar. They've built those football stadiums using slaves. That country still has slaves. They also execute homosexuals. You want to show a bit of support for human rights? Well, don't go to the World Cup then. Cancel the World Cup. But you won't, because you're hypocrites. So that winds me up watching the Football Premier League and knowing that they're going to a country which shows absolute abuse of human rights. And they're not talking out against that. We're all happy to do that. But yet they want to get on their knee and condemn the whole of our country and all of our police officers. There's obviously problems within the police force, but I wouldn't say the police force are racist in our country. In fact, the way the black community see that, we see it the opposite way. And that's truth. I see it the opposite way. The white kids are easy targets. If you turn up, and I've said this through growing up, maybe not with the black community, but certainly with the Muslims. If white boys are fighting Muslims, please turn up. They jump straight on the white boys every time. It's too much hassle to go for the Muslims. So we see the opposite. So we have grievances, but that doesn't mean that they haven't got grievances. So they have genuine grievances. The thing that a lot of them are talking about was stop and search. Please stop and search. But I said since they stopped and lessened stop and search, the violence has exploded. In that 3-year period that I was on about, with 27 white people killed, 97 black people killed, black people and black people, 165 were killed. If Black Lives Matter, that's what you want to be protesting. Why is no one protesting that? Why aren't you trying to get the guns and the knives out of the kids' hands? And some people are, meeting plenty of people who are talking about these issues. Some people are. But per se, if you really want to stop fight against black deaths, they get 94% of the black people being killed in the United States are being killed by other black people. When you go through all these figures, I then sit and think, what's this movement all about? Why is this on my TV 24 hours a day? I don't get it. So that's what the thing is.
Tommy, as we come near the end, I just want a different angle on this. You've got a story, a message to get out, which resonates with many people across the country. But there was a time where those in power, the establishment, were successful in quietening you down by shutting the avenues for you to actually get that message out. But obviously, recently, Telegram has been a big one on most people's phones, and they get those stories, and then moving on to VK, and that providing a way for you to get videos out, and Parler having you've just passed 100,000. So, do you think then those ways are going to be successful in actually helping you get the message out and getting a wider audience?
Totally. Do you know how many people are getting fed up and they've just needed that one place they can head to? When they get put in Facebook jail or they get their tweets removed, they don't have to put up with anymore. If you're watching this and you haven't already downloaded the app, download the Parler app, Parler. It is the same as Twitter. They are also going to have live streaming facilities in the next couple of months. This will become the household name for free speech in social media. And you've seen, I think, 600,000 downloads of the app in the last 7 days.
Yeah.
Number one trending, number one most downloaded app. Leaders in the American government now coming out telling people to join it. What I want to do is play my part in getting the British public on the app. Get on it, sign up, get your mum's phone, sign it up, get your dad's phone, sign it up. It will become the biggest source for news. If you want to bypass all the lies, bypass all the bullshit, get on Parler, follow at Tommy Robinson.
Tommy, we had Mark Meacham. We had on live stream on Monday. We had Mark Meacham, Count Dankula, and he was guessing. I mean, he's into all this, and he was saying how the mainstream media, how Facebook and Twitter have now become mainstream media. They become the same as the rest. And these new ones grow up. He said the problem is people like Parler and VK, in due course they'll become mainstream, and we'll have to move on to somewhere else after that. He said it's like a chase going on one after the other. But anyway, let's enjoy Parler while it's there, and let's just do it.
I'm enjoying it. I certainly am enjoying it. Joe, I'm enjoying it because I like making videos and knowing I'm making people think or bringing things to people. And it was really disheartening, man. And it sort of takes away your drive, because I think you run around, you make a successful video and it's going to reach 40,000, 50,000. I looked at the promo I done on Parler. It had 500,000 views on Parler. So then straight away I think, right, that's 500,000 views. I've only been on this app a week. And that's on one video. I think if I went through my news stories, I look at each one now, they're getting over 100,000 views each story we're putting up. So it's encouraging, and that's excited me to think now I can go out, I can make videos. When I make a video, I know I'm reaching people, even when I share a news story. The best thing that I become when I had Twitter, I become the focal point for people in this country who want to see what's going on around the problems I talk about. They come on, I share things all day long as a news source. And that's basically what Parler is.
Fantastic. Yeah, really good. Tommy, one last thing. As you know, Hearts of Oak, we've got this demo on the 1st of August about these 3 Rochdale groomers. We need to get them deported out of the country. You're going to be there, aren't you? You're going to be there on the 1st. You're going to be speaking there. You're going to be supporting it. Is that right? And,
yeah,
and we want to be black and white unite around that issue too, don't we?
Have you heard back from Matey from yesterday?
Say it again.
No,
No. Okay.
I've messaged him. We've chatted, but he hasn't come back fully. So
I love him. He has, when he speaks, you listen. Like, he has an aura about it. But yeah, I'll be there. This is a demonstration, as you said. This is the Rochdale groomers who were due to be deported and haven't been deported. I think a lot of people have been waiting for something from our movement. We are a movement of people, a community, and everyone's been waiting to get back together. And it's on the 1st of August. It's going to be a beautiful day, hopefully. We'll be in London. Pubs will be open. And we'll be there. We'll be there highlighting and demanding that these 3 men are deported, because these 3 men, the victims, are now bumping into them in Asda, right? They shouldn't even be here. So, yeah.
I mean, it's one of the many failures. Not only are these men not being sent back, but it's horrendous, the short prison sentences. I've been going through each of the court cases, and the media will say men jailed for 100 years. And you think 100 years is a lot.
Yeah.
And then they're like 20 of them, and you think, oh, they've got a couple of years each, and they get out half the time for good behaviour.
What I was shocked about when I started going through it, they go on to do it again. I found 3 of them. I found 3 of them were sentenced for grooming and come back out and done it again. They should be deported.
Yeah.
So,
the other thing we're looking at, Tommy, is
while I'm on here, I was covering the Barrow story. The news story in Barrow, which there's a lot more to that. And how do I say it? The campaign have not been honest with the public. It's as simple as that. And I wanted to show people the truth. In fact, there's a lot of people that haven't been honest, who have been talking about this, who know a lot more than what they've been putting out off their platforms. And if people are supporting a campaign, they need to know the truth. They need to know all the facts. And that's what I was in the process of bringing to people. I was arrested. Someone spat in my face. I was held. I've now been bailed till September. I have all these conditions. It's a bit of a worry for me, because when I'm on bail, if they pull you back in, you're on remand. So I'm not allowed to talk about child exploitation. That prevents me doing the work I was in the process of doing. So yeah, that's September. I've got to go back in September on that.
And what's the latest on the Centre Park thing and you and your daughter and all that?
Well, he's been charged, but I've also been charged. My defence is based along citizen's arrest, and I'm going to be having a meeting in the morning with my sister about it online, but I'm just waiting for a court date for it.
Okay, good.
And another thing, actually, because I was going to do a separate video, but I'll do it now. We got a second? Let me grab a letter. One sec.
You're getting it fresh off the press, whatever it is.
There's so much going on, isn't it? So, yeah, amazing. Well, we had a good hour of it so far, and going in. Anything else any other notices? Can we do the notices while we're waiting for Tommy? Peter?
We don't really. Piers and Jeff on Monday, tune in for that, talking about their court case. So the whole lockdown and how it's destroyed society, but that and then we've seen the lockdown being a mockery because of the whole thing with Black Lives Matter's demo.
Yeah. Okay.
You see this,
Tommy?
This should terrify everyone, yeah? Okay? Because this is, dear Mr. Lennon, I banked with these for years, yeah? We're sorry to have to close your accounts. Right? So they're not happy with just doing your PayPal. They're not happy with doing your Stripe. They're not happy with closing down every single one in social medias. Now your banks. I've already had this done to me by NatWest. Right? Now it's HSBC. What they go on to say is, if you choose to switch to another provider using the current account switch service, which I guarantee you, it'd be impossible for me to get another bank account, right? Or open an account with another provider, this must not be a member of the HSBC group. Our decision and this letter is noticed conforms to the terms and conditions of your account. Now,
do they say why, Tommy? Do they say why? What's their reason for closing it down?
You reviewed your accounts, and our decision is that we no longer will be able to provide you with our banking products and services. No reason. I had this with NatWest. I've already had this. I had this with NatWest, and what they say there is you will receive your money. If you do not get it, we'll send you a check to your address. So that's my direct debits. Do you know what I mean? But what I mean is, where they want a cashless society, yeah, which is what they're billing for eventually, a cashless society, when they just delete you, It's hard enough. You can't have any social media. You can't have this. You can't have a bank. How do you live? That's all this is about. It's just messing with you. So why would HSBC? I'm totally full on with my bank account. I've used that bank account for years. Years I've been with them. I'm in a very good relationship with the bank. I go in there and speak to them all the time. But this will be way above their rates.
Tommy, I'm wondering, and it's never good to share thoughts on live always, but I'm wondering how many of the 400 odd who have been jailed for involvement in grooming gangs have had their bank accounts stopped if the bank of HSBC.
Well, the date for this, the date that I got this letter, the date this was sent out was 2 days after I went on my rant about BLM. So I didn't know if it's to do with that.
At least you didn't call them the Taliban.
Yeah, no, yeah. Nigel took the heat off me a little bit there. He came out the next day, I was like, oh, thanks, Nigel. I was getting it. And then I saw Nigel Farage trending BLM Taliban. I was like, oh,
yeah. You like him after all.
Here, Tommy, if you launch TR Radio before Nigel does Nigel Farage Radio and invite him on yours.
I know. He'd be too much of a coward, wouldn't he?
Very good. Very good.
Thank you, Tommy, for your time. Thank you. And our viewers, join us on Monday for Piers Corbin and Jeff Wyatt talking about their being arrested and everything on that. And Thursday with Robin Aiken about his new book, The Noble Liar, which has a whole chapter on Tommy.
That's the ex-BBC journalist. He was quite high up at BBC.
That's right. Yeah. You met him, and his book's just come out, and there's a whole chapter about you, Tommy. So you and Panorama.
Panorama, hey, come on.
He reckons in the book.
Every video I do. I bet he watches every video I do.
Tommy, Robert Aitken reckons you embarrassed the BBC more than anybody else has ever embarrassed them, or worse to that effect. In this new book, he says you really caught them on the hop, and they he says they underestimated you.
I pulled their pants down in front of the whole world. Love it.
Fantastic. Good.
Thank you. We'll let you go, Tommy.
Good night. See you later.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Good.